When did people stop caring about what they look like in public? I don't mean this to sound harsh, because I also go out in public now wearing lounge pants. But when I look back on history at photos of public events until about the 1980s, people still dressed up to start their day go out in public. What do you think caused this shift in us? I am trying to work on dressing nicer because it actually helps my depression to do so. Society overall has become more casual. When my mom worked for IBM in the 80s, she had to wear skirts, dresses, and pantyhose to work every single day, with heels. My dad had an office job and had to wear full suits. The step below that, basically business casual, was your casual wear. We basically made business casual the new work look because people didn't want to have to wear full suits and skirts, heels every day at the office, which makes the new everyday wear more casual than that. I think reducing the formality of office wear just had a trickle-down effect on casual clothes. If I look nice, I get harassed more. When they stopped caring about the opinion of strangers. I also don't think people 100 years ago embraced the concept of just be yourself. You do you. Don't worry about what others think or even the concept of pursuing personal happiness. It's the societal ostracism experienced by people who got divorced, single mothers, people who lived together outside of wedlock, people who had children outside of marriage, or who were even a tiny bit different in any way. That makes me think that all the work done to remove stigma and increase general tolerance is one reason, and personally I think it's a good thing. This isn't a thing in every country. Just came back from Korea and the average person dresses far nicer than where I live in Canada. Meanwhile, I regularly see PPL in pajama pants in public. Lol. I felt very inspired to revamp my wardrobe after my trip. You realize that until the 90s and digital cameras, there was a cost associated with photographs. And especially as you go further back in time, taking a picture was an event that people especially dressed up for. Yes, some fashion styles and even workplace norms have become more casual over the last few decades. But that's a far stretch from saying people stopped caring. Most people do. Some never did. You're allowed to not worry about how other people choose to dress. I was reading The Age of Innocence, and at some point a lady goes out of the house without a hat. And the horror. Ho behavior at the time. People back then only had one nice dress suit and had to wear them all the time. They didn't have casual clothes, so they had to wear their only nice thing. It's a common misconception to think people in the past dressed nicer. Yes, they did, because it's the only thing they had. I can't afford to care what I look like. My guess is that there are a lot of subtle changes always going on. I remember in the 80s and 90s, at least in the Northeast, guys in the US would wear white sneakers everywhere except work. Take a look at Seinfeld's feet. That gave way to most guys wearing leather shoes when they'd go out on the weekends. I hope it does help lift your mood. Looking good feels good. I have no idea when that was lost. And I am a fan of being comfortable. But honestly, pajama pants to run to the store? Nah. Well-made clothing that fits right is always comfortable. No need to dash out the door looking like you went on a bender with the town drunk. When leaving the house became a burden, and not an adventure. When we stopped shaming them. Shame has been one of the major ways cultures would instill lots of social norms. But we have gradually moved away from shaming people, so we end up with what we see. I didn't give a shit when I was younger in my teens. I used to wear the most offensive metal band shirts with no shame. Big rips and holes in my jeans. Dyed spiked black hair. Now I would never. Lol. This round started with the hippies in the 60s. But it's a cyclical thing. Our culture tends go from uniformity, think the buzz cuts and clean dress of the 50s, to individuality, hippies, punks, goths, etc., and back again. Eventually we'll swing back around to favoring uniformity for a couple decades again. It's all just a big cycle. I guess it's healthy not to be too preoccupied with it. But have we gone too far the other way? I'm chronically ill and disabled and pretty poor. I wear really soft clothes that are quite baggy. I need to be super comfortable in my clothes because I'm in a lot of pain. IDK, but I wish it didn't include wearing bras as shirts. Like there is casual and then there's that. People realized they didn't care about the opinions of strangers when that opinion makes zero difference in their day-to-day. Dressing nice is something you should do for yourself if it makes you feel better. Dressing up to impress strangers is a waste of time and energy. I think having tons of clothes and getting all dressed up is a waste of time, energy, and money. I always make myself presentable to an extent, clean clothes, not wrinkled, and fit well. But give me a couple pairs of jeans, Dockers shorts, white black plain t-shirts, and a plain hoodie and I'm good for the year. Spending time worrying about what you're wearing just takes away time from more important things. Not caring what you look like in public is a very American thing. Sweatpants in public? Definitely US. People put more effort in other parts of the world. It doesn't take that much more effort to put other nicer pants. Still same process and same amount of laundry. Because I don't care one iota what anybody else thinks about me. I'll wear what's comfortable. I remember people wearing bicycle shorts in public in the 80s, cut-offs in the 70s, and I have pics of my parents in jeans in the 50s. Athleisure movement. I think there was an episode about it on Netflix's Explained series. I dress with the idea that I'll never know who I might meet while I'm out. It doesn't mean I'm going to dress to the nines. But I'm not gonna wear sweatpants or yoga pants and a t-shirt. I think the counterculture movement of the 1960s had an outsized effect on the attitudes of the up and coming cultural leaders of the 70s and 80s. That, combined with the rise of youth culture, economic instability, and cheap mass-produced clothing, killed the suit. Really though, I expect that the period of time that the everyman in the Western world wore tailored and coordinated clothing was probably brief and associated with the Industrial Revolution. Prior to that, the 99 probably wore homemade clothes made of rags or rough materials. I'm 60. And og preppy. I've always taken some pride in my appearance. Even when dressing casual. My 29-year-old son just can't be bothered to wear anything but paint-spattered pants and a graphic t-shirt. No matter what. It's not how he was raised. But it's where he's landed. He's a federal agent, so he'll dress appropriately when needed. Otherwise he's a complete slob. When we had a worldwide pandemic where we all wore sweatpants for months and went, "Why aren't I wearing these all the time? They're so comfortable." I'm pro wear whatever the fuck you want. If someone else wearing or not wearing something affects you, you are incredibly brittle. Early 2000s, I remember being a kid and starting to see people wear PJs to Walmart and everyone made big deals about it. I want to wear something comfy. Is that so bad I don't find dressy clothes comfy? When people learned that making themselves physically uncomfortable to look nice for other people's eyeballs is not a moral imperative nor, in many cases, particularly sensible. If dressing nicer makes you feel better, then by all means do it. But do it for you. Not for random strangers whose opinion of you will never make a difference in your life.